We are the team who created this UW Connect application. So during this presentation, we're gonna show how our progress looks like after a midterm review, and at the end we also do a quick demo on the major features and functionalities of our deployed application on server. So since our midterm review, our meeting schedule stayed the same, and we continuously developed more functionalities and features, and more comprehensive test suites and documentation were also generated. And now I'll pass it to Max to talk about our GitHub workflow.
Thanks, Darren. Our team is utilizing GitHub organization to collaborate on projects. Each developer creates forks of the repo and work on their own version of the project. This makes sure that the main repo will not be impacted easily, and once a feature is completed, a pull request can be created from the feature branch to the dev branch, allowing a workflow with no delays between pull requests. This workflow is being used for both backend and front-end repositories, and once the dev branch is merged into the production branch, it will trigger the Jenkins server to automate the deployment process using a web container. Now I will pass to Lloyd.
So in our application, we use React and Flat technologies, and we build our application using MVC architecture with both front-end, back-end, and database. All three layers were deployed in separate server and connected through REST API. The chat service is provided by Command Chat, and we also use Waterloo enrollment API to get the course information. Next slide. For the Scrum practice, we still keep the same process as we saw in midterm. We apply Scrum process through Jira application. In the end, we have totally 4 sprints with 33 weekly meetings and 4 sprint meeting demo. We communicate through 2 major channels, which is Slack for direct message and Discord for online meeting. Next slide. In total, we have 65 stories, which divide into 6 epics that relate to major function of the application. You can see here is a Jira accumulate of our tasks we have done in this during the time. Next slide, Ming will present about the testing.
Thank you, Lloyd. So for the React front-end test, we use the React testing library for DOM-tree rendering and testing the interaction between the components. For the functional test, we use Jest, and we also use Jest to provide the test coverage based on the midterm review compared to the final. For the midterm of 4 test suites, 12 unit tests, and 2 snapshots, we increased those to 13 test suites, 73 unit tests, and 11 snapshots for the final. And as you can see on the right side, our test coverage is pretty good. And for any code that cannot be covered by the unit test, we essentially do them in integration testing. For integration testing, we use Datadog. Datadog can be used for testing, which involve like testing the interaction between the different components and service within the application, and also to replicate the user flow when they're actually using the website. It can also be used for monitoring the whole web applications and provide insights into performance errors and any other metrics such as browser coverage and also location coverage. Now I will pass it over to Jasper to discuss the backend testing.
Thanks, Ming. So for the testing in the backend, we continue to use PyTest and OpenAPI to help us with the testing. We maintain 100% API test coverage with PyTest, and the OpenAPI allows us to update the API documentation automatically when we implement the new API with the schema definitions. It helps us to keep 100% covered documentation on API, and the generated API documentation is easily accessible and helpful for front-end development, so that people can always get the latest description and test around with the back-end APIs. We also implement some useful automation tools to generate massive test data to make it possible to test on the recommendation system and other functionalities that requires more users. And with the use of the feature provided by PyTest, we can keep the data consistency in the test database. So in the next, please Darren to give a demonstration on our application.
All right, thank you guys. So now I'll just do a quick demo on the major features and functionalities of our app. So here's our deployed app on the server, and let's say if we have a new user who wants to create an account in our app, our registration phase basically contains two parts. The first part will be the credential part, and the other part will be the profile part. So the user can only finish a registration phase when he or she finishes the both phases. So let's say if I create an account using the email that's already being registered, our application will actually be able to detect that and prompt with the user about the error message. So now I'll just create account with the email that's not being used before. So here is our profile setup part. So if a user, let's say, didn't finish this profile setup and just close the page, the next time when they come back and log in, they will actually be taken back to the profile setup page. Only by finishing this part, he or she will actually be able to get into the main page. And now we can set up the course environment and the hobbies. So for now, I just choose some random ones for this user and agree to the user agreement. So once the profile setup part is finished, the user is able to get back to the home page. So how our application setup is that it automatically remembers the user's credentials and the login status. So let's say if I close the tab page right now and come back, it'll actually be able to remember the login status and log into the same user. And the user will be able to log out using here. We're going to show you at the very end. So for now, our friend Qixing, he has his account logged in on his part. So now we'll try to add him as a friend. When the user click on the connect me, he will be recommended with the top 10 users from the database based on his profile. And these dummy users, we just create them in our database for the demo purposes. If you want to find friends with other courses or hobbies that you don't have, let's say if we want to find Qixing, we'll just put in the hobbies and the courses of his profile and click on apply. And now you should be able to see Qixing here. So once you click on the message button, you'll be prompted with this friend alert message. So how our friend connection mechanism works is that the first message will be used as like a friend request to the other party, and the connection only establishes when the other party responds to our message. And if the other party doesn't respond, then this message will be deleted after 24 hours. So let's say if I send a message to Qixing, as you can see the status here, this message went through. If I send another one, and the second one wouldn't go through because the connection isn't established yet.
And as a run request receiver, I only see the first message, and I can't see the second message. So this demonstrates that our system works. Now I'm replying back with a message. After I reply with this message, then me and Darren will become friends. So after I reply with this message, when he click on my chat room, the friend request warning will no longer appears.
Yep. As you can see here, we received a message from Xixing, and this means that our connection is established. And if you go to your friend list, you'll be able to see Xixing here. And now you can just talk and text each other without any limitation. And this chat room also provides us with the video calling and voice chatting calling function. And it's also able to allow the user to send out attachments as well. So now we'll just demonstrate our video calling function. So I'll just call Qixing right now.
Hi.
Yep, as you can see here, our video calling function works, and yep. So yeah, that's the major features and functionalities of our application. But let's say if I finish this term and for next term, I actually got enrolled in some different courses, and if I want to try some new hobbies, I want to match with different people, right? And the user is able to edit their profile here in the profile page and edit the current year, the courses or even the program and hobbies. And that's gonna change their profile info. So yeah, when the user is done, he or she will be able to log off here. And now the credential and login status will be cleared. So when you come back to the page, and it won't take you to a home page anymore, and it will ask the user to log in. So yeah, that's all of it for our presentation and demo. Thanks a lot.